Hey, Brian,
What's up, JR?
do you know this episode's the 1 year anniversary?
No way.
Yeah.
See, that's why it's the month of the Triers, man.
Yeah, that was accidentally on purpose.
A happy mistake.
Yeah. But hey, a happy mistake. I feel like you've had two of those.
I've had a lot of those.
I have two
Oh,
that I'm
you had two.
that I have to teach school now too. But I'm gonna play the intro. Maybe we should actually
Hey,
go
right on.
to the show.
Hi, this is Blinky, broadcasting almost live from the Boscoyo Broadcast Studios. You're listening to the second season of the Professional Triers podcast. Oh, yeah! Remember to like us on Facebook and subscribe to us on YouTube and Apple Podcasts. And now here are your hosts, the Professional Triers.
Hey, welcome to another episode of the Professional Triers, the 1 year anniversary episode. That's right. You've been listening to us for a year. And like Brian says, we accidentally on purpose made this the month of the Triers because it's the 1 year anniversary month. So today, not only do I have Brian, who looks like he cut his hair,
It's been a while. Been a week.
and
Two.
the guy who definitely cut his hair,
Yeah, I was wearing a beanie for a long time there.
Mr. Keith. How you doing, Keith?
Oh, I'm doing great. Cheers to you guys.
Hey,
Well, you're also part of it too, so
yeah.
cheers to you too. Which is funny. From the very beginning, you two have been on the team.
Yeah. I kind of remember your first episode came out, and I think we kind of saw it before it came out.
Yes.
And I was like, we could work on the audio a little bit. And then, it was just feet all in at that point.
And then there was the second episode that never aired that we did in Brew Tank with everybody
Oh, yeah.
because we were
Oh,
drunk after we did it the first
That's
episode. So
It
then
was
we had to do a second episode with everybody in Brew Tank, which was and they were like, "Oh, we'll just save this for when we don't have time to everyone." And then we go and rewatch, and we're like, "Yeah, no, the first one was bad enough. We don't need the second one to be like this." So,
hasn't quite been a train wreck yet. So,
but yeah, we've gone through a whole year of Professional Triers, and I don't think we've ever actually talked to the Triers about their personal stuff. So, like Brian brought up a couple weeks ago, because we skipped this past Monday because Mother's Day and Brian's birthday. It was just a good excuse because I was dropping the ball.
Word for me.
Yeah.
I was busy.
And then Keith's birthday was last week.
No.
Well,
Yes.
yeah. Brian, when it airs, it's last week.
Oh. Dude, you can't do that to me. I gotta remember we're in the future. We're in the future. Okay.
Doing this
fine,
for a
thanks.
year now. Come on. That's why we're just professional triers.
That's
We're just
it.
trying out here. So, but yeah, Keith's birthday was last week or tomorrow. Or no, Thursday.
Couple days
Thursday.
ago.
Thursday.
Thursday.
The past Thursday.
Past Thursday. It was past Thursday.
So, Keith and I, we're both Mother's Day babies.
Mm-hmm.
Our birthdays fall on Mother's Day, depending on leap year and the year and all that. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah. We
have a
share that,
special
brother.
bond.
That's very cool.
To the Mother's Day babies.
Yeah.
To the Mother's Day baby.
Or May birthdays in general. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Thanks, guys.
Yes, happy birthday. All right.
Happy birthday.
Now let's get into stuff that most of our listeners probably don't know about you.
Yeah, a lot of people.
Tell us what you do for a living and where you live and about your house and all that good stuff.
All right. Yeah. I guess I'll start with what I do for a living. So Basically, I do shipping and receiving for a very large winery in the Livermore Valley. It's probably, I don't want to really say the name, but it's the oldest running winery, one of the oldest running wineries in the whole world. So it's kind of got that prestige kind of look to it. And I deal with shipping and receiving. And actually, what's been kind of really interesting since the whole Corona thing has been happening, my work is just quadrupled, tenfold maybe, because everyone's drinking right now.
Staying
And
at home and drinking.
yeah, and my focus has been it's been normally wholesale, and we just started a whole direct to consumer. We have these websites now, and we have lots of different brands. And so you can now consumers can go on that website and purchase our wine. And it kind of started as kind of a niche thing for us. And then when the whole Corona thing, we kind of were just like, we started advertising it. We put out the biggest thing was the discounts and stuff like that. And all of a sudden, my job just increased a huge amount. And it took something that was really like the small little area of the business, and then now it's become 90% of the business now. So now the last couple of months I've been away from the Christmas light stuff, unfortunately, because it's just been gun ho turning in a department that never really should have existed as big as it is now, and turning it into something. So that's been my focus on work. But other than that, I'm a Christmas light fanatic. I'm an LED fanatic in general. I actually come from more of like the side of like festival lights, or stage lighting. So that's kind of how I got into this hobby in that way, was taking the stuff that I was kind of doing for clients and their projects and kind of being like, well, how can I do it at my own house? Like, I want to take that stuff I was doing in, July, April, and, those summer months and apply it, year round and have some fun with it. That's the lighting side. In general, holiday festivities, I've always had more of a passion towards Halloween. Me and my dad used to do big haunted houses at his house, like walk-in haunted houses, where you would be able to the whole neighborhood would come to our house, and we would dedicate that, because it's an old ranch style house, so it's mainly just a lot of hallways and rooms. So you basically just section off like half the house, and you can dedicate this whole perfect haunted house theme in the neighborhood. And we used to do just simple things. We turn our scarecrows into more haunted type zombies by fluffing them up more and adding kind of zombie hands and stuff like that. Then we got into
zombies.
Yeah, fluffing the zombies, basically stuffing paper into them, newspapers, just giving them more mass to them, changing them up every year. All you had to really do is just stuff a little bit more. And we got a little bit more into like the semi-animatronics. Like, I would not call it like animatronics as it is today. It was purely like almost like Home Alone, you would think. You have to open up the door, and the door would have the pulley. The pulley would activate the zombie then would fall. And just systems like that were foolproof. Like, to this day, I don't have nearly the faith on electronics that I do off of those kind of things. Those things never fail. So that's kind of the holiday lighting, the hobby. When I got my own house, I wanted to do, I wanted to do the haunt, but then it was like my neighborhood was so, I think most neighborhoods in the California area, this Bay Area that I live, JR lives just 30 minutes away from me. I'm just 30 minutes away from Tom George as well, and it's here, the haunts just aren't the thing. We have like the big, carnivals and stuff like that, but mainly you're not really, the neighborhood isn't going out getting candy.
You were gonna say snobby, weren't you?
Yeah, I mean, maybe, I don't know. There is the snobby places are the ones that succeed. Everyone wants to go to the places where you get the big candy, and they don't even have to have like much decorations at all. It's like, oh, we're going to go to those houses every year because they got the candy bars.
Yeah, yeah.
More
More
of a culturally different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, culture. That's yeah, exactly. So obviously, what would be the next thing to go to? Well, is Christmas, and so being LED lighting in general, I was like, well, how do I get into that? And I think it was 2015. I was working on a project for this stage. I had to build basically the chandelier that was over the stage or over the crowd. So this big 40-foot chandelier, this wooden type of hoop, and I had to do the lighting and the surrounding hoop design. And additionally, I had a buddy that did the projections, and we actually had so it's basically this. I could maybe pop up a photo later, but the really cool thing about it is that it was again, it was about 20 feet above the crowd, and it had the sheet in the center, a white sheet, and we actually had a projector that was shooting images in the center of the chandelier. So you had this amazing effect. The lights would kind of we were using software like Resolve, which you can kind of tie in with the projector technology and the music, so then it can interact with the DJ and how it works and stuff like that. And that was an amazing project. And after that, I had so many lights because the way that the diffusion on that chandelier was so great, I actually reduced the light that I was using by like 50%. And so I was like, came home with all these strip of lights, and I'm like, okay, what do I really want to do with this? And so I went out to my solarium, which, if you don't know what that is, it's which I'm sure 99% of the people don't. It's a fancy way of saying like a greenhouse that's attached to your house. That you have like room. It's a room.
Why didn't you just say greenhouse?
Yeah. Well.
Or
Yeah. Exactly.
A sunroom.
Solarium is so California.
Yeah. I was going, huh?
Actually, that's what my grandma in Boston, North Andover, Massachusetts, calls it. So that's, trying to go back to those roots.
I knew what it was because we had talked about it before.
I know, and you commented on it. That's why I immediately drove into that.
So Big Dud knows what a solarium is.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's from that area, so he would know. But yeah, sometimes in those areas they have those like outdoor greenhouses that are really nice to be able to sit, and you have couches out there, and usually time for games and stuff like that. I'm sure some of our listeners know what I'm talking about. But in there, I was like looking at that glass roof, and I'm all like, what do I do with that? That's a perfect way of diffusing light and making some cool effects and stuff. So I took those strip of lights and just kind of accented that area and lit it up, and I was like, hey, cool, this is fun, let me get into this more. And the rest is history. Basically, I bought some Boscoyo snowflakes the 2016 year, put them out in my front yard that year. So 2016 was the first one that actually had props in my front yard. Then kind of started it out small. That's the trick to building a good display, in my opinion.
Wow. I learned a lot from you, Keith, right there. I know you do stage stuff, but I had no clue how you got into like doing the Christmas stuff, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I figured I would go all out.
Oh, see, he knows what he's supposed to do on this show.
Oh yeah, I'm sitting here running through. I'm like, yeah, that one's done. That one's done.
Yeah. So he killed that list. I guess we're on number 7. You want to ask Brian, since I asked the first one?
Yeah. So tell us something, and this is going to be tough because I know you fairly well, I think. But tell us something about yourself nobody in the hobby knows.
So I do a lot of different hobbies. As my first rant kind of went into, I think that I kind of go all over the place. So scuba diving. I'm actually a scuba diver and a master diver. So I'm actually.
No kidding.
Yeah. Well, Jared, we've had long drives.
I know, but I'm just saying, it's supposed to be something nobody knows. Brian did this to me last week.
Well, I think that's a good one. Let me just.
It is a good one. No, I'm just playing. That was a good one.
Well, let me just kind of tell a story about that. So, I started actually at 14 years old. My dad was always a scuba diver at a younger age too, and so every time he would go on trips, he would scuba dive and we'd do snorkeling. I think I was about 14 years old that I did like the Puerto Vallarta, if you ever been to Puerto Vallarta or a lot of those Mexican type of touristy towns, they have like the option to basically pay a little bit more, and you could do like a temporary scuba dive. You go in the pool for like a day, you learn, then you could go on the ocean. So I did that one day, and I was hooked. I got back, I turned 15, I joined this scuba diving club, and so for basically my from 15 to 19 years old, I went on all these summer-long 3-month trips to like the Caribbean. My favorite trip was actually it was Egypt. When
Yeah,
actually,
I didn't know this.
yeah, so 2003, right after 9/11, 2 years after 9/11, I went to a trip just by myself to Egypt. And the plan was when I went to get to this town called Sharm el-Sheikh, I'm ruining that name, but butchering it, but it's basically if you're looking at the Red Sea, it's the town at the very north part of the Red Sea on the Egypt side. And so I met with people there. Most of the people were actually from East Coast United States. And that was kind of my first kind of interaction with so many people that were just like all over in one general area of America. And it was like, oh, okay. Well, and so I went scuba diving in Egypt, and I went there for about like a whole month. And my favorite experience probably of that, just to kind of end the note on that, is that when I love scuba diving with sharks. I have lots of stories about scuba diving with sharks, like really close to hammerheads, all kinds of sharks. And so my experience of something like going to Egypt is I wanted to swim with sharks again. And so I was like, okay, well, I knew that Egypt was well known for diversity of sharks. So I was like, I asked my dive master, hey, can I get a good, let's go swim with the sharks. He says, no one's spotted any sharks in 5 years. And I'm like, really? He's like, yeah. And I'm like, well, I got a group of us. We want to get, what's the chances? And we're like, okay, he says the best chances is basically we have to go out to basically right where the cruise lines and the tanker ships go out. And you have to go dive right in that area. We had to wait to basically a tanker left. And then we dove right behind the tanker, and the boat then left. It was just basically a drift dive. You just drop us in, and we just go with the current. And nothing's around you. You dive into this complete blue nothingness, and we're about 60 feet below. And I look down under my feet, and there's like these weird little figures kind of making these perfect circles, and they're separated by like 3 of them. So all of a sudden they start coming up, these black figures, and it's 3 hammerhead sharks. And at this moment I'm actually 80 feet, and my team of 3 other people, everyone else is up at like 30 feet. They're like, yeah, this is interesting, we're not going to see anything. And I basically had 3 other people that were like, we got to go, and then the dive master. So us 4 or 5 of us were down there. And all of a sudden, at 80 feet, these guys just started coming up. The moms basically surrounded us. And then the babies started coming up. And it was just an amazing experience. It was probably about 50, they said about 50 hammerhead sharks that we were surrounded by. And it was just an amazing experience of just being basically level with this. All you could see from like nothingness is blue before, blue darkness. And then all you can see is just hammerhead sharks just spinning around you. And yeah, it was an insane experience. And honestly, like that was the first time ever I was like, yeah, I lost control, and we're going to lose it if they go above us. So we had to start going up. So we started going back up. We got to about the 60 feet, and we realized they started going back down. So they're about around that 100 feet, 80 feet area that if you want to go see them. And yeah, that was an amazing. We got up there, and the dive master was like, holy freaking cow. Like I said, in 5 years, no one's seen this. We just broke some records, and it was amazing. And somebody actually recorded that. You can find it on YouTube. If you do a deep dive in YouTube, you can actually find that video. Yeah, that was an amazing experience, and not something that a lot of people would know.
Wow.
Wow.
So we talked about Egypt before.
Yeah.
So I remember that, but not that story. That's crazy. I
So
would have lost some bodily fluids, man.
wow. All right.
Been rough.
So last week we did a vote on what shirt we should make for Brian.
Mm.
Clearly Montana won.
Yeah.
I'm thinking Keith needs a shirt with a hammerhead shark on it that says Keith is cooler than you. Leave your comments below and let us know if that shirt needs to be made.
That is cool. Oh yeah, definitely.
One time I kissed the hammerhead shark. He ran into me. Well,
really?
Yeah, that was in
Poke him in
Belize.
the nose?
Yeah, no, well, it was like boom, and then he turned his head, made eye contact with me, and then he was like, "Oh fuck!" Boom, dived right down. It was like I didn't see him because he came right up at the reef part. I don't know. It's just insane.
Wow.
Wow.
All right. How does your family and your girlfriend handle your hobby?
Well, my girlfriend loves Halloween, so we kind of split the difference. And we work on a little bit of Halloween projects here and there for the Halloween. And my Halloween display is slowly getting there. It's nothing worth, I don't really show it off, but it's definitely it's getting there. And my parents, they're fueled by it. They love it. They want me to do a display at their house. They're like finding me other family friends that are all like, "Hey, I want to do something like that." I'm like, "Yeah, you don't want to do that, but I can walk you through it, But yeah, I got my own aspirations, so I'm not trying to sell myself right now. So everything's a-okay at the house front when it comes to the home front when it comes to that stuff.
Does she go out and help you set up and stuff then?
No.
For Christmas.
Oh,
No.
Christmas? No. That's no go there.
Yeah.
She will, she helps on the pushing of the pixels and, a few things like that. Not a lot of pushing this year. We'll talk about that, but, it's one of those things that you kind of have to divide, pick your battles.
Oh yeah. All right. I think we're ready.
Are we ready? All right.
I think we're
So,
ready.
Are you ready?
Sure.
The Pixel Pro Display Sequence Club is the only club that pays for itself. Here are just some of the benefits of becoming a member. Each month, you will receive a free, original sequence programmed by the pros at PPD to take your display to the next level. Access to weekly X-Lights effects presets, which you can use in your own sequences or modify to create your own unique effects library. Access to the PPD affiliate discount program, getting up to 15% off or more from over a dozen of our PPD partners. So visit us on the web today at pixelprodisplays.com and also find us on Facebook at Pixel Pro University. Pixel Pro Displays. What can Pixel Pro Displays do for you?
Hi, this is Blinky, and now it's time for our favorite segment, Flashpoint. As fast as you can, tell us all about the details of your display.
Go.
All right. So I got a display that the last couple years has been basically Falcon controllers F48 with distro. Can I share my screen?
It's also a podcast. It's also a podcast.
All right. Okay. All right. No screen. Okay. So my show has been basically the Falcons F48s and F16s. F16 basically being for the Mega Tree, and then the F48 being kind of that way of spidering out or having satellites or whatever you want to call them, receivers, out in the yard closer to my props. Now, my yard really isn't that big, so the F48 was a newer addition the last couple years, and looking now, looking forward, I'm actually going to be dropping the F48 and going to something more like F32s in the yards and then in the displays. So that's kind of like the controllers. All right, so the house is not very deep, or it doesn't have very much depth, I feel like, but it does have some length to it. And I don't actually utilize as much length as I really should, and that's something that I will be using this year. But most of the display is pixels. It's like it's 100% pixels. What am I talking about? I don't have any P panels other than like, I guess you would call so I have a tune-in sign, but I don't feel like for a tune-in sign, I never got the idea of dedicating your time and effort into building a tune-in that was like with a Pi player or a Pocket Beagle or whatever, I just went and on Alibaba and I bought like one of those generic tune, signs, that you have to program. You have to use crappy, I'll give it to you, crappy software, and it's really hard to use. But if you're just making it say tune into this sign, tune into this channel, bada bing, bada boom, I'm done. For years I was just using a freaking a piece of piece of wood out there, painted sign, and but people would be like, after a year of that, I had people being like, do you have a way so I can listen to it? I'm like, right there it says turn to this. Okay, no one can see it. I gotta figure out something. So I do think you gotta have some kind of P panel, but I'm not the one to invest my time into.
You're kind of going slow here.
Okay. Most of it's Coral Props. I do have a really nice Megatree. I want to upgrade that. That's, and I have some animatronics that I added last year. It's basically dancing, singing bulbs, and and I have snowflake towers. Done.
Kind of pigtails. No, you're not.
Oh,
Pigtails?
okay. Well,
Voltage.
so there you go. Thank you. So voltage, I don't care.
This.
Yeah. I'm not looking over there. I'm looking at my display. Okay, so all right. So I don't care about voltage. Like my philosophy is denser stuff. I'll use 5 volts, but whatever. I'll use whatever I'll get. Most of the last couple years, 3 years purchases have been mostly 12 volts, but there's been occasionally the 500 volts. A lot of the 5 volts. A lot of the 5 volts are carried over from like projects, because when I do projects for other people, they don't want 12 volts. They want 5 volts because they want to have it fall back on like a car battery, or not a car battery, but they have like USB batteries. They have their own way of doing it. No one wants me to go to 12 volts when it comes to those kind of those projects, the stage lighting stuff. So that's the volts. What was the other one?
Pigtails.
Pigtails. Again, I don't really give a crap. I will use Ray Woo. That's most of my display, but I do have some X-Connect. I have some Paul. I have whatever. I know which ones they are, and I can make it work.
Cool.
Very cool. See? That was good. That was good.
Yay!
Golf clap.
The crowd goes wild.
Ryan, do you want to ask a question?
We want to start off.
I don't know.
What
Would
would
you let us ask questions this time? Okay.
Are you just gonna go off and answer, or can we?
No, you're gonna let us ask them.
I'm sorry. They're upset at me, guys.
Start chewing our nails. And
They're all like, did you hear at the beginning? I went through 1 through 6 without them asking a single question. So what's me just sit really quietly.
I mean, I go get my popcorn, my sunflower seeds, kick back, and just listen to you talk. So.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I even switched over for the video to be in speaker view for that. I was just it's all good.
See, podcasters, we like you.
Yeah.
See, that's it. All right, Keith. So, what is your most popular prop?
I'm just kidding.
Well, it works into this, and it goes off of that.
Yeah. No, Megatree.
Megatree?
Yep.
Straight to the point.
Awesome.
Megatree. Final answer.
Yeah. I like the Megatree because I think if you just start out on a show, you can do a Megatree. My second back is a Snowflake because, again, you can have a show with just snowflakes. I did for a year.
But
Cool.
like,
Besides-
what's your favorite?
That's my favorite. Yeah. My favorite snowflake is like the Living Light snowflakes or a 20-foot Megatree.
You have any troubles in your neighborhood?
Oh no, actually the reason I didn't do that much the first couple of years was I thought people would be kind of upset. This year last year I learned that no, everyone came out and like crazy, had seats, and everyone's like, do it more. I love to see it. So no, everyone in my neighborhood loves it.
Awesome. Well, you kind of answered the next question in the top part.
Damn it.
So I'm going to skip that one and say, if you started your display all over again, clean slate, nothing up, where would you go? How would you handle it? What would you do?
Wow. I would probably. Geez, that's a good question. I should have thought about that one before.
And I guess money is not an option in a sense.
Yeah.
Like you could get all the same pigtails and voltage.
No, I wouldn't. I don't care. No, that wouldn't be one. No,
I would many pigtails.
I would probably start with the day coral, Matos design coral kind of stuff. I would want to invest more into that right away instead of some candy canes being regular and some being the day coral ones. I would invest in a 20-foot tree instead of starting out with a 9 or 10-foot tree, just because I thought that would be too much for myself. But in reality, you're always going to find a better system that comes out there that's going to figure out all the problems that you thought that existed in 20-foot that aren't really there. So research.
Not paid for any of his advertisement.
No.
Up Matos design. Just clarify.
So yeah, that's what I would do. I'm going to try not to answer the next one. I think that's coming up.
Try.
JR's going to throw you a curveball.
All right. If you could travel to any display to see it, which 3? Or if you could travel to 3 displays, which 3 would you travel to?
Oh, Brian's. I know that was said last time, but I would love to see Brian's.
Maybe a little group trip.
Yeah,
Oh,
group trip
shit.
would be cool. I mean, you have
tell you
so
what,
much
I'm setting
potential there. I mean, you already got so much there, but you can grow that thing 20 years from now and still have space to fill. I mean, it's lovely. And I like what you've done already. So,
Thanks.
I think I would also really like to see Jordan Nash's. I think that his whole animatronic thing last year kind of, I wanted to go see it anyway because of the projection that he does during Halloween typically. But I know that he's kind of putting that into Halloween a little, or Christmas more and more, but that's what I would want to see. And then I guess the next person would probably be kind of like one of Richard's ice kind of he has these ice kind of displays that he does. That'd be really interesting to see. If that's not ringing anybody bells, I would say maybe Vinny's drive-through. I want to see more drive-throughs. There's no drive-throughs here. There was one that somebody started in San Jose, but it kind of just didn't work out. I know who it was. I just don't want to say his name. And so it was, it was a good, so that's the 3, 4 plus.
Yeah. All right. But send me a link to Richard's ice things. I want to put it in the comments.
Okay.
Yeah, because I don't think I know what.
I know what you're talking about. I've seen them.
Mm-hmm.
And I think people would really think that was cool because those ice things that Richard do is actually super unique and pretty awesome.
I think they're in a few places around the country too. So it's
Richard who? Can you say his?
I'm just forgetting his name. You said that Brian was bad with names.
Oh.
I'm horrible with names. I can faces, no problem. I'll see you at a convention and I'll walk right up to you and I will talk to you, but I probably don't remember your name. I'm really sorry, but that's just how it is.
Okay. We can walk up to Keith at a convention or something and we might not know it's him because he'll have a beard. He won't have a beard. He'll have long hair. He won't have long hair. He changes up all the time and he grows hair like a gorilla.
Italian.
You got to watch the glasses. Glasses always stay the same.
I'm thinking about getting different ones. So.
Because I feel like it's been less than a month you didn't have a beard. Right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, maybe. I don't know. It was weird. I just randomly just cut it off, right? I don't remember.
Yeah.
You were
this,
drunk on the beach, I think.
This is like
Jordan vacation on the beach.
That's what it was.
This is 3 weeks.
Get out.
Yeah.
So's that.
Yeah, exactly. You can't grow facial hair. All right, moving on.
I better move on before I say something about coughing and jumping up and down real hard. So, What tips would you have somebody getting started if they came up to you and said, Keith, I want to have a light show like yours? What can you tell me?
KISS, keep it simple.
Mm-hmm.
I would say start small. Don't worry about rushing into it. Um, I would say build your show how you're envision it. How you're vision the next couple of years. Don't think about how you're going to get by this year. It's a project you're building throughout years. So make it something that you're start. So that goes back to the starting out small. If you're kind of like thinking, oh, I got to just throw all this stuff out there, you're going to fail or you're going to succeed, but you're not going to really get the enjoyment out of having your own real display. That's my opinion on it. Other than that, I would say, just kind of work with somebody. I think you guys mentioned it last time, but like the mentorship idea is a brilliant idea. And to parrot what you guys said last time, also don't take a lot of advice from a lot of people. Just take advice from like one or two people, maybe even one. That's it, and build from there. That's again why you should start off small if you're starting out, because it's a lot easier, and you're going to feel more comfortable about asking advice to somebody, one individual, for example. If you're starting out small, like if you're doing something big, you're going to have more questions. That's just how it works, and you might feel a little bit like you don't want to put all that on one person, and then what you're going to end up happening, is you're going to go out and find information everywhere else, and then you're going to get stirred the wrong way, and yeah. So that's just learn off of other people, and you can over time, like you're going to learn things that other person isn't either. So it's a vice versa exchange. You're always going to be back and forth. But overall, KISS. I love that term.
Yes.
Just that's. I use it with every single thing I do in life. So.
So, KISS fan, I'm gonna get you a KISS shirt. Oh, maybe that could be another. Okay, there's the second option for a KISS shirt. Is a KISS shirt.
Anything to design.
Yeah, I still gotta make your Canada shirt. Maybe KISS shirt. Maybe make it look like the KISS the band shirts, but have a hammerhead shark and a bearded fella on it.
Oh yeah.
Well, he did get kissed by a hammerhead, so
yeah. There we go. It's perfect. Ties all together. Vote in the comments. Tell us what shirt to make. I'm like sidetracked now. All right, what do you think the next big prop in the hobby is going to be?
I'm hoping it's something animatronic. I want something to be interactive, and I feel like that's the easiest way to be interactive with people is animatronics. So I want it to be something animatronics, but I don't feel like people are steering that way just because people want things simple, KISS, and and so so that's not where it is right now. But so realistically, it's the higher dense prop stuff, because it's all you have to do is push pixels into something
and inject it with power.
Yeah. So whatever is the simplest solution that's somewhat different than the thing before, that's the next thing.
All
All right.
Assuming you go out and talk to your guests that are watching the show, have you had any awkward, not homeless man moments or anything with your guests out there?
I'm glad you added the if you actually do go out and talk to people, because I think when I think there was 1 year 3 years ago that I did all I did was just poke my eyes through the freaking hole, wait till people left, and then I went out and watched my show. And I think I was in Brew Tank that year, and Vinny was kind of you just go out there, bro. That's weird. And I'm all then the following years I actually got candy and I did the whole thing. So to answer your question though, the weirdest interaction is probably always the ones that are like the music. Is there music that goes with this or something? And I'm always just there's a tune-in sign that's right there. I got a button you can press and play music. And so that's my weirdest reactions. It's just like, how are you not using your brain?
Since you brought it up, I feel like the brew tank has taken you a little bit out of your shell.
Yeah,
First started in the brew tank, you were in a shell. And then we in the brew tank and other interactions just definitely pried you out of that shell. And then we had great videos like you in a shower and great conversations with you going to the SoCal Mini and then all
I
kinds
tell
of.
you what, knowing Keith from the brew tank and stuff, and then when he did it for Expo as Clyde in the shower just blew my mind. And I mean, that was the funniest thing. I think that was so awesome, Keith. It was perfect.
a little
And
left
I'm
field.
like, I like this dude. Not because you were in the shower, but
No. No, I missed
oh,
the brew tank, man. I just with work and everything, I've missed it. I'm gonna no, I can't hop on it this Friday, but oh
oh,
well, you're listening to it this Monday, so yeah, this Friday I'll be in the brew tank.
oh, there you
Very
go.
nice.
There you go.
Yeah,
Come see Keith. Keith's gonna make an appearance. Yay!
But yeah, I definitely came, and I have to credit you too, JR. I always say that too, because I think I've had this conversation with you about this before. That like that, yeah, I've always my philosophy in a lot of this, even when it comes to people, that hire me to do their jobs and stuff like that, is that I don't really put myself out there. You got to kind of know the right person to find me, and it works for me, and that's just the best way to go about it. But I do love the podcasts. I think the interaction I get with people with that, to be able to communicate with these people that, with Hot or Not, being able to communicate with people that are venting these amazing products and stuff like that, that's a once in a lifetime experience, really. So, yeah, and that credit to Brew Tank for taking me out of my shell.
Well, we're glad you opened up and became Keith for
Oh
all
heck yeah!
because you're pretty freaking awesome. All right, now that since we talked about how unique and awesome you are, let's talk about what makes your show unique and different. Besides the name, I really like the name of your show, by the way.
Altamont Holiday Lights. So I live right by the Altamont Hills, so Altamont Holiday Lights. And I think it kind of runs really well. If you say it really quick, somebody might think ultimate. Oh!
That's why I like
But the thing I think that people really love about my display is the animatronics that I've added last year, and and I got most comments about that this year last year than anything else, and that's why, like earlier, I said I would love animatronics, because people, you don't even know it yet what you have.
Tell us how you feel.
But that's what I feel, yeah.
Sweet.
So the people that are listening, animatronics basically have this. JR has it too, and he's really taken it to a whole nother level. But we have this using the Pixel 2 Thins board. We could basically make the singing bulbs kind of move while they're singing, so they look like they're dancing. It's kind of a cool effect.
Yes, that was the brainchild of a car ride to LA.
Yeah, it was. That was good.
That was when we heard of the Pixel 2 Things board
Yes.
in a secret conversation,
Mm-hmm.
but it didn't exist yet. But we were figuring out how to use it before it existed.
And then we got there. The first
It
thing,
didn't
like
work.
after we set it up, we got to David. We're both like, "So David, we want that board. We got some plans here." It's like,
Yeah. And then he shows us this pile of broken boards that he got. He's like, I messed this one up. I was going to bring it. It didn't work. But he got through all that. Now it works.
Trial and error.
So, yes, that is a very unique feature to your display, and I do like your singing light bulbs.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's very cool.
You think he's ready?
I don't know. Is he got his sleeves pulled up? Can't see his sleeves. I think he's ready.
I'm ready.
He's unbuckling. Here we go.
Once again, the Professional Triers Holiday Lighting Show has raised the bar, teaming up with another awesome sponsor, Zazzle, to provide you, our VIP listeners, with some cool, awesome, one-of-a-kind Professional Triers gear, including the Hot or Not shot glass, the Blinky Flashy Lowdown notebook, the Professional Triers Blinky Gear beer stein, the ever-so-popular David Peace Not a Vendor t-shirt, the must-have Robert Petty Make Rob Great Again t-shirt, the one-of-a-kind Jordan Nash
Do you like my decorations?
t-shirt, and of course the must-have Professional Triers Blinky t-shirt, and much, much more. You can even create your own one-of-a-kind Professional Triers gear. So go to trierswag.com, that's TRIERSSWAG.com, and get your Professional Triers gear today.
Hi, it's Blinky again. And now it's time for our fan favorite, Rapid Fire Questions.
What color is your toothbrush?
Green currently.
Do you swap out a lot?
Yeah, I have a combination of, it's, the regular blue-green combination.
Okay. So it's like one of those, like, you don't care what color your toothbrush is. You just get the one you want. Like,
No, basically every first of the month I throw the old one out, put the new one in.
All right. Go on, Brian.
If you could have a superpower, what would it be?
Most people say flight, so flight.
I thought he was going to totally go on somewhere else.
Yeah, most people say flight, and I'm totally different than anybody else.
I also
But I
think
do like flight.
But I love flight. I mean, come on. Who wants to go on American Airlines?
Oh, my God. Yeah.
if Apple made a car, would it have windows?
Yes, it would be all windows.
Okay.
All windows.
Hold on.
If peanut butter wasn't called... Oh,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
what?
Go ahead.
Oh, you cut out on me. I didn't hear what you said. Are you looking for your questions?
No.
If peanut butter wasn't called peanut butter, what would it be called?
Peanut sandwich jelly.
Can you say that P word again?
Peanut sandwich
Peanut-
jelly.
Sandwich jelly.
Yeah.
Got it.
But it'd be a peanut sandwich jelly. Yeah, you have to say it quick.
Nobody likes peanut paste. I'm waiting for peanut paste.
I have a list of rapid fire questions submitted by a listener.
Oh, that's right.
Okay. So that's what I was looking for.
Okay, gotcha. Do you need a second, or did you find them?
Oh. Some of them are questions, some of them are statements. So I thought I had one, but it's a statement.
Got to filter them first.
Thank you, Chris, by the way.
All right. You ever notice that arms are another word for guns, and guns is another word for arms?
No, thanks, Chris.
Toilet paper. Under or over?
What? No one cares. Just throw it on there.
Oh my God, you guys are killing me.
I know you have a way. You are particular. That's why I was so.
Look at that. You just sprouted another gray hair on me. Thanks.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
It's the future. No one cares.
Okay. Another question from Chris. If you punch yourself and it hurts, are you weak or are you strong?
You punch yourself and it hurts. You're strong.
Okay.
Yep, that's a strong
if
one.
If animals could talk, what do you think would be the rudest animal?
You said cat last time. I'm going to say, whoa, God, that's supposed to be quick. Monkeys.
Monkeys.
Monkeys. I think monkeys are probably pretty rude. Because they probably think that they're equals, but they're not. and they know that, so they're probably really rude.
Okay.
You've had dunk flung at you, huh?
Another one for Chris. I had to change it up a little bit. If your calculator kept history like your web browser, would you be embarrassed?
The calculator? No. What?
You wouldn't be embarrassed with what you would have to calculate on your calculator?
No.
Like your lack of math skills, basically.
Yeah, no, I'm not worried at all. Like, I as somebody that does shipping and receiving, I double check my math 100 times before. Like, even simple math, I'm all like, I gotta double check that because you don't want to make that error.
What would be the creepiest thing you could say to somebody passing you on the sidewalk?
The creepiest. Oh God. Nice thighs. Come on, that would be really creepy, right? I mean, like, what were you doing looking down there?
So creepy, but also creepy that it was so quick for an answer.
It's rapid fire. It's whatever comes to mind.
I haven't asked that one for a while, so we couldn't prepare for that one.
Well, first there was a pause. My first reaction was something demeaning, like the rear end, but it went a little different.
That was a quick turnaround, literally.
Okay. Why do people, this is another one from Chris. Why do people spend so much money on college when you could teach yourself anything on the internet?
I like these questions, Chris, by the way. I was just joking at the first one. But I think that is a really good question. I don't think that's a quick one. I think that's actually a good philosophy question, especially nowadays with this corona thing that's going on. But yeah.
Oh, gosh.
You know, I can't answer that quick.
Okay. Moving on. Brian, you got one more, and then we're going to ask him the tough question.
All right, the big one. Oh, man. All right. If you were arrested with no explanation, what would your friends and family assume you did?
Oh, it would, God, probably something to do with like a car accident or something like that, like manslaughter or something horrible like that. Because like the only time I really communicated like that kind of a situation was like, when you're really young and you have those car accidents or something like that. But I'm pretty basic. Like I go to work, I go home, I work on Christmas lights, I do other little things like that. That's my life.
Wears Ogas, or I screwed that up. Wears Uggs and yoga pants and vest and gets a Starbucks every day.
No, I'm not that basic.
Oh, God.
No, I'm like, I guess I should say I'm more natural. I just don't,
Oh, so they're leather.
Yeah, I go to Starbucks with a leather outfit. That's only on my birthdays. Oh wait.
Woohoo!
Not X-Lights related.
Not at all.
Not at all.
All right. Well, after these comments, I don't want to be the one picked in this, but
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do.
Oh boy.
all right. Our last question. The question, which, oh man, I thought I added it here. We actually have a sound effect for it, but not here. So, out of me and Brian, which one would you like to hang out with again? Because you've hung out with us already before, but who would it be?
JR, why aren't we going on like parties and drinks and stuff like that? You're like only 35 minutes away from me. JR.
I have to. Okay, awesome.
Now he's going to hold you to it.
I'm down. I need to go away.
Yeah. We all do.
Yeah.
A scooter adventure.
Yeah. Yay! Don't ride in the street.
In
Okay.
the bay.
So this is the one at your anniversary show. So I guess, have we told the story about the scooter?
No, but everyone would love to hear another story.
So seeing that this is the 1-year anniversary, we could talk about the first time 98% of the professional triers were in one place for the first time. We were in Southern California, staying in the same building in San Diego. And Brian, Keith, Jay, Vinny were all in the same room. And we would take scooters out. Ken was with us when we went out, huh?
Yes.
Yes.
He
Ken,
was, yeah, he did. And oh my gosh, David,
Stuart.
there we go.
Yeah. So we were out in San Diego riding around on the Lime scooters or Bird or Lyft or whatever brand. We rode them all
We
because
could find.
Yes.
we had issues.
Yeah.
But
Whatever we could find.
Brian was just recovering from his foot surgery, so he probably shouldn't have been on a scooter. He certainly wasn't allowed to drink. So we went out drinking on scooters. Well, we weren't drinking on the scooters. We used the scooters to get to the bars.
To get to and from.
And some people have never seen rental scooters, Brian. Montana does. It's not a scootering area. So
They don't do good on dirt roads.
we showed how to download the app and get them started. And Brian finally got it going. And I saved Brian's life, basically.
Boy, was I ready to go.
He was about 4 feet away from going off a curb on a electric scooter with a bad foot.
Quick trip to the hospital.
But
That one.
That one may have been.
we laughed, and we made it to the bar. And we drank, and then we go to leave, and the scooter company I selected closed at 2 o'clock or 1 o'clock or something. So
Whatever it was, yeah.
I think Keith got me a scooter back to the hotel. And we were all drinking pretty good. And we get back to the hotel, and Brian's like, I need distilled water for my machine, right? And I'm like, I'll go get it. Well, Keith went with me, and every place we went to did not have it. Until we went, I don't know, an hour or so on the scooters to get to a CVS.
Didn't the battery die on one? You had to find another one?
Dude.
Multiple. Yeah, we both had to do a hop.
We got there without a problem. Getting back was a shit show. I think we both went through multiple scooters. We used every app they had to try to download and get a different scooter because when ours died, we had to find the closest thing to us. And we got back, got Brian his water.
Which I did not absolutely need.
Or
I would have been fine
3
without
days,
it.
didn't even really use it.
I got to see a lot of San Diego. Or wherever we
was-
were.
Yeah.
It had some. If I remember right, that gallon had some battle wounds.
Oh my god.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
A gallon jug on a scooter.
The bag, it was a cheap little plastic, like, convenience store bag. It rips. The jug falls on the ground, makes a huge hole in it. And so I think I end up carrying it the rest of the way. And
Yeah.
I have to hold it with my hand halfway in into the jug as a handle, you know?
Keith was less drunk than I was. So he was responsible for that capacity of the water.
Yeah.
But then the best part about this is we get back, we go to sleep, whatever. We got a next day of plans going. And we go to the Midway, and then we're going to meet up with David Peace and a few other guys and go to an escape room. We get in the van that I rented, and we go to the escape room. And it takes us like 15, 20 minutes to get to the escape room right next to the CVS we went to.
Yeah. Not even kidding. Crazy.
No, right around the corner.
Yeah. We're like, oh, shit, that's the CVS we went to. We're
So-
like, we're really far.
Yeah, it was really far. It was like, wow.
Oh my gosh. Well, I do.
By the way, we
appreciate you
won
guys
that
doing
freaking escape room, by the way.
Yeah, best
Kicked
time.
butt. We broke a record.
Yeah. We were the quickest escapees.
Yep.
But that's because we had like Jordan
yeah.
Nash with us and Lee and
We had all the smart
Jane.
people.
and David and Ken and like
Ken,
had a bunch of smart people, kinda. But that really doesn't say anything else about everybody else that's been to that escape room. That we set the record.
What gave us you remember what gave us the most difficulty?
I didn't want to tell everybody what gave us the most problems.
I will, because I wasn't working on it. The RGB lights.
Oh yeah, it was this like dark room with RGB lights. Yeah, I wasn't working on that either. I was with Brian at that point. We were working on this like cube that you had to match the colors to make the cube match up, and they would tell you these numbers. Escape rooms, if you've never been to them, give it a try.
Yeah,
it was so awesome.
Yes, the thing that took us the longest was the part about sequencing RGB lights with switches in the right sequence. Oh, it's kind of embarrassing, but it's funny.
It was a blast.
I think this is a really good episode. It's been an hour, and it's awesome.
You know, and all the other episodes, you said we have another special episode. This one should have been a special episode.
It is a very special episode. It's the 1 year anniversary episode.
Because last episode you said, well, I got to stop saying special episode.
Every episode's special.
Apparently.
Yeah.
That's part of the intro. Hello, everyone. This is a special episode. Welcome to the Professional Triers.
It's like
special episode by special people.
We're just triers.
So I'm thinking, here's the plan. So this Friday night, coming up in Brew Tank, because Keith's going to be there. Brian's going to be there, right?
Yeah.
We're going to have the 1 year anniversary party in Brew Tank for the Professional Triers. We're going to record it. It's going to be random as hell, and it's going to be Brew Tank, but it's going to be a 1 year anniversary party. So bring your drinks. Join us in Brew Tank. Link will be in the comments. Friday night. Gonna be a good time.
We'll get all the other triers in.
Can I ask you a question, JR? So, how did the professional triers start? I mean, we're at the year anniversary. Like, you were the one that started all this. So, like, what made you kind of be like, I want to start a podcast?
My wife made me start listening to podcasts because she was. And then I started listening to them. I was like, oh, we should make a Christmas light one of this. And that's what did it. And the name, it came from Jay.
Yep.
First professional trier. He was told he tried at making a sequence by somebody. And then somehow in Brew Tank, we told him he was a professional trier. And then I made a shirt, like I do all the time, for the think tank that said professional trier. And then when it came time for a podcast, I just thought that was the perfect name.
And he has the original first professional trier shirt, right? 2 of them, I believe.
Jay, yes, he does.
Jay, yeah.
Yep. So yeah, that's where it all started. And then I roped all you guys into doing something because you know me, I can't do shit by myself.
Teamwork.
There it is. Together, everybody achieves more.
Yes.
That's team. That's my
so
military.
I could have been the solo cholo, but I don't think it'd be as fun.
Oh, you're a cholo, all right.
All right. We should go.
Okay.
This was a good episode. I just kissed my mic with my cheek. I leaned and then I fell forward. You know, the last time I saw somebody fall out of an office chair, it was hilarious. The name Professional Triers might have came up. But yeah, it's a good episode. This was fun. We're out.
Hey.
Get on the nice list.
Bye.
Bye-bye.